Abortion access in Michigan now hangs in the balance and in the courts following that deadlock vote by the Board of Canvassers yesterday. The appeal was just filed. My 7 Action News co-anchor Brian Abel joins us live with what's next. Brian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Glenda. This isn't the first or second consequential deadlocked vote by the board. You may remember back in May when 5 GOP candidates for governor were left off the ballot. That was after a vote by the Board of Canvassers. That decision was appealed. Now a similar path, as we just learned with this appeal that was just filed moments ago, will determine whether Michigan voters get to vote on abortion rights.
2-2.
Deadlocked. The Board of Canvassers splits on accepting the ballot petition to put abortion rights in Michigan in front of its voters. It'll now go to the courts. They issue this. The petition, signed by more than 700,000 voters, had a formatting error. No spaces between words.
You would not sign a mortgage that had this type of mistake in it. You wouldn't turn in a term paper that had this kind of mistake, and if you did, you would likely get knocked down for it.
Daunt's one of 2 Republicans on the board who voted against the state's elections director's recommendation to allow the measure to go to voters. Once filed, the appeal will be in front of the Michigan Supreme Court, where it has 2 options: uphold what the board did Wednesday and keep abortion choice off the ballot, or overturn.
If they order the board to put on the ballot, the board will then have to meet after that order and pass a motion to put on the ballot.
Attorney Mark Brewer was involved with a challenge to fraudulent signatures submitted by GOP candidates that also deadlocked the Board of Canvassers back in May. He sees the appeal to this vote going differently, questioning the board's reach.
They have no authority over the wording or the spacing of the actual proposal. The only thing they have authority over is the form of the petition, which they approved months ago. The words are all there. There are no typos. People can read it. It's a matter of spacing, and that's a function of a printer, frankly, as to how much spacing is between the words. We actually have constitutional amendments which have typos in them.
Separately, the sheer amount of signatures submitted may factor into the Michigan Supreme Court's decision.
The courts are very sensitive to matters of democracy. 750,000 Michigan voters exercise their right to put this on the ballot, and their wishes should be honored.
And Brewer says historically, the board does vote unanimously on many issues, notably certifying elections like in 2020. Now, the abortion question wasn't the only deadlocked vote by the board yesterday. Another measure that as of now will not be on the ballot is a promote the vote proposal. That appeal also filed just hours ago. The voting access measure would allow 9 days of early in-person voting. Ballots from military and people overseas to be counted if received by Election Day. And voters could fill out 1 absentee ballot application for all elections. Opponents said this would have changed too much of the Michigan Constitution and allowed people convicted of murder, rape, or armed robbery to vote, including while in prison. So this, along with the abortion choice being on the ballot, will all come down to how the Michigan Supreme Court decides if they decide to take on both measures, as is widely expected by experts. And time is ticking for both decisions. There is a deadline, September 9th. That is when ballot language needs to be finalized to get those ballots out to voters in time. Glenda?
All right, Brian, a lot to consider. We'll be watching. Thank you.